Hey everybody, Weem here, and I've got a very simple question for you. That is, have you played Transport Fever, or in this specific case, I suppose, Transport Fever 2? I actually started playing Transport Fever, the first one, not that long ago, a number of months ago or so. I think I was turned on to it by Kerbo. He was retweeting some footage on Twitter, and I was like, that looks interesting. So I got hooked into this channel called Kernel Failure, started watching the videos. I was like, I like this. I was a big fan of OpenTTD, played that quite a bit, and this just seemed kind of like that, but more modern. So anyway, I thought I would just jump in here, make this a very short video. And right off the top, let me just say it has been a while since I've done a video. It has been since January of this year, so almost a year. I've kind of taken a break. I've had a number of things going on. I'm going to get more into that in a whole other video. This one is just kind of my first video back, my warm-up. That's why we're going to keep it nice and short with that very simple question. Like I said, have you played Transport Fever 2? When you first jump into the game, it's going to be generating a map here. You've got a couple different climates to choose from. I chose temperate. I actually think this is sticking with the settings I did for the current world I am playing on. So it's small, it's a 1x1 area with a high concentration of towns and industries, which are indicated out here. And it gives you a seed for you to hang on to. So if we go ahead and click next, we are going to get to choose the vehicle type, or creating a new game, we get to choose this vehicle type between Europe, USA, and Asia. I'm currently doing USA, starting in 1850. I did do easy. I really like to start on easy in these kinds of games, just to kind of see how things are going. And let's go ahead and hit the next step. Okay, so that process I just walked through very quickly would end up bringing you here into your new world. I've actually loaded mine, which really haven't played that much of. I was just getting started, and things are very simple. But one of the things I love about this game is that, and games like it, is that you're really just trying to make money. It's pretty simple, and I'm doing a poor job of that. If you look at the bottom left down here, my money is pretty low. I've been spending a lot of money, but what I mean by simple is, again, you're just trying to make money, and you do that by connecting towns. You make transportation for the locals, you bring in goods. You can see San Diego has a couple needs here that they want, and you're bringing that in from factories. This icon here, we've got some wheat, and I can bring the wheat over to here, and wheat will make the bread. Bread I then bring over to the port, and I actually have a boat bringing this bread all the way to the town over here, to Port St. Lucie. So you can see they've got the bread need down there. San Diego does not care for bread for whatever reason, so I have a boat kind of moving back and forth taking those goods. So that's just a quick, simple idea of this. Of course, there is planes, there's trains, and as you progress through time, you unlock more and more vehicles, more modern vehicles. You start in 1850. You can see we're currently at 1860. One of the features of this second version of the game, Transport Fever 2, is that you can actually stop the date speed. Time will still pass by, but you would never progress past this date, which is kind of cool, because sometimes when you're playing and you're trying to get money, you really are so low on money that over a period of time, all these new vehicles become available, and you still can't really quite use them. And if you want to check them out as they come and be able to afford them, it's kind of nice to be able to stop the timer. So anyway, that's a very, very simplified version of what this game is, but I think that really does cover the basics of it. Now, I actually am new to these kinds of games. I would say new as in, the last couple years or so. I enjoyed games like SimCity and then City Skylines, but what I found in City Skylines that I really liked was managing traffic. That was kind of my favorite thing, was just to see how traffic was handling through my cities, and then try and fix the problems. So we can kind of get this traffic layer here. And I found myself playing City Skylines just for that. I'd be building cities, and I didn't really care much about anything except for trying to fix my traffic problems. So I should have known with games like Cities in Motion, things like that, that there were games that really focused on the transportation aspect only, and got hooked into those sooner, but I didn't. So again, latecomer to this kind of stuff, but I'm a big fan of OpenTTD. I've done a video on that in the past. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check that one out. One of the things I really love about that game that this one does not have is the multiplayer aspect. And in this game, it is pretty cool that you can jump in and kind of go anywhere. I've got 5 towns here. You can see we got Vancouver, Shreveport, Santa Rosa. We have Port St. Lucie over there. and San Diego. So those are my 5 cities. You can obviously have a lot more. I can kind of go around and start wherever I want. I can start connecting some of these resources, bring them into towns, and be trying to make money that way. But in OpenTTD, you're playing with multiple people, and so there's a land rush. It's not a turn-based game. You come in, time is going, and you basically are just kind of scrambling around like, oh, let me try to set up the bus transportation in this town. But another player might be doing that at the same time. So you could be competing not just for real estate on where to put your bus stops, but for you could be competing for the actual customers, for example. So you may find yourself wanting to move to a different town or trying to start up different things in each town. Like, let me try to be the one that gets transportation going within the city in each of the different cities. I'm going to go ahead and pause the game. I have things going on here, some errors and everything. But yeah, and so I kind of like find myself wishing that games beyond that had that kind of multiplayer aspect. I would love to play this multiplayer and have that kind of rush of, players jumping in and trying to beat each other to the different industries and trying to be like, oh, I'm the one who really focuses on this industry. It's doing really well. And if you wanted to, you could try to lay your own lines and compete. I think that'd be pretty cool. But anyway, I'm kind of just talking about the things that get me excited about games like these. And like I said, I've been playing this. This actually, Transport Fever 2 released yesterday, December 11th. By the time I'm making this video, it is currently the 12th. And so I just kind of jumped right in. I'm still very new to this version of the game. I'm really liking some of the updates to it. And yeah, I thought I would do this kind of little warm-up video. Like I said, I've been out a while and thought I would do one that was pretty short and just ask you the question, have you played it? So if you played it, let me know down in the comments what you think about this. If you've played any of the other games, have you played OpenTTD? Really curious what you think about that game. Like I said, I'll throw a link to the video in the description for that game. I still play that from time to time. I kind of hop in there. Okay, well, while I'm here, I figured I would actually jump in here and try to fix a little problem I'm having. This error keeps coming up, and I was like, I've got this line. And so basically, lines are connections between multiple locations that you can then create vehicles for, and assign them to the lines, and they will go drive between those. This is one of my vehicles here. Obviously, because we're in 1860, we're not looking at cars or anything just yet. But I do have this problem where this line keeps losing its station. I was wondering what was going on. I've got this first station over here where basically they're taking wood from this place, and I had them bringing that to here, which is actually connected to the port. And the boat, when it would come drop food off here, would take wood back to San Diego. So I thought, why am I losing this station right here? And I'm realizing that's because this exchange only has 2 lines available, 2 terminals as they call them, and I've already got those full right now. I've got 2 lines here already. So we're going to jump in here and modify this guy. This is one of the other new features of this game. You can directly modify some of these buildings you put down. So I go to configure, and I've never done this before. I know this is a thing you can do. So I want to add more cargo. Okay, so I've got this little block, and I can put this down to add more lines. Now, I don't have the money to do that. You can see we're in the negatives, so I have to resolve that first. I think what we'll do is we're just going to borrow like another $1 million. I borrowed $1 million earlier so that we can kind of get this updated. So we want to configure cargo. I need to have another line in here. So I can't, oh, I can put it there. I don't know for sure that adds 2 more cargo lines, though. I'm a little nervous that it doesn't, so I'm thinking about just doing it out here. So let's do that. Let's get out of here. And I can't tell terminals. Yes, we do have a new 3rd one. Awesome. So I need to edit this line that currently has 1. We're going to manage line, add a station. We're going to click here because now there's room. Check that out. So now we're good. These guys should start bringing the logs over. I select this guy, and he currently has nothing. How about the other guy? Also nothing. And I'm not entirely sure why that is. They may have to kind of make the drive over to show that there is a draw for this wood. It's kind of different in this game in the sense that this won't just have logs here that it can then compile up. There needs to be a full chain all the way down to where somebody needs wood, which I have back in San Diego. And once you have lines connected, like I have a line to here, then the boat line connects to the port in San Diego, and then the port connects to the station that's back here, which then brings the wood out to the place that needs the wood out here to make planks. Once there's enough lines where it can where it can see, hey, I've got wood, and I can tell at the end of these lines there's a desire for the wood, then it starts doing it. So maybe that disruption caused a problem there, I'm not sure. But hopefully that resolves it, and also gives you a quick idea of how these lines work. Now, if I jump over to some of these other towns, I really haven't done anything except for create a single line for passengers. So you can see I've got 2 here, and then I have the road depot, which is where you buy vehicles, which I only have a few possible right now. So I definitely could be doing more in these other towns. I just very quickly thought I would just set up the transportation. Come to think of it, I didn't do Shreveport, did I? Well, that's something I can show you really quick. We're going to jump in here into buildings, and we want to grab the station here. Now, the town is broken into 2 sections, residential and commercial. Now, the commercial, you can see we have the brick. I literally pointed to my screen with my other finger. That does not help you. Basically, we have the brick and the, I think this icon's for tools. That kind of indicates the commercial area. And then that means that the stuff that doesn't have that is the residential. So I kind of like to connect the two, because that's kind of how they get to work. And if I do it down here, anything lit in white, you can see that indicates it's being covered by that station. So I'm going to go ahead and put one here. And I know that covered to about here, so I'm going to put one back here, I think. So there's 2 stations. We now need a place to make vehicles. So we've got this kind of depot here. We're going to drop down. Just going to plop that there. Then we want to go in here. We want to buy vehicles. I'm just going to do 2 passengers. These ones. Just go ahead and select 2. We'll buy those. That sets them here. I can actually select both, and I can hit this to choose a line for them, which I actually didn't name that line, did I? Oh, I haven't created the line yet. Good. Let's create it. Kind of one of the key things here. We're going to go to lines. We're going to do a new line. And I'm going to say you go here to here, and you get these cool little lines showing where the vehicle is going to go. Pretty sweet. And then we're going to go ahead and name it. So this one, we are in Shreveport, which I think I just was doing SP. And I forgot if I was doing like intercity transport or passengers. I can't remember. I think I've got more down here somewhere. Passenger intercity. Anyway, that's fine. That's fine for now. I can change that later. Cool. We're going to go here. We're going to grab the vehicles. They're selected. We want to give them that line. That was SP. Intercity passengers. That's this one. You could see it show up on my screen out here when I hover over it. Perfect. Close that. Zoom into here. There they go. So you can see it's pretty simple. Setting up lines and everything. There's some complexity when some of them don't work for whatever reason. And, you know, you're like, did I break a line? Did I do something? Make a mistake somewhere? I found that you really need to be really methodical when you set up a line that then is going to connect to another line. I kind of walk that path and build them all together. It's easy for me to get distracted and pulled into something else. Like, ooh, what's the shiny? Like, I want to go build this thing. It's like, no, focus on the line. Come on, Weem, you got this. And get that worked out. So anyway, there we go. Now we have Shreveport. I've already done Santa Rosa, so everybody is now set up. I didn't realize I missed them, but it gave me an opportunity to show you what that's all about. All right, we'll watch my boat cruise through here. It's got a lot of food headed out of here. It's pretty cool. We can actually click on the boat, see some details. We're kind of losing money on this thing right now, unfortunately. We also have some other screens we can bring up. I hit F2 and we can see the lines, all of my lines here, and I can actually sort them by balance to look at which ones are most profitable. So the boat line is actually pretty low, then it will jump up when it makes like a delivery, and then it will kind of come back down and everything. It's pretty cool. Lots of information to see here. There's all kinds of those details here. You can look at vehicle statistics specifically, station statistics, all kinds of stuff. So if you're really into that kind of stuff, yeah, you're gonna find that aplenty here in this game. So yeah, that's kind of the quick view of the game. Like I said, I wanted to just keep this really brief. Again, my warm-up video in a sense, having not made one in a long time. So we'll leave it at that. We'll pose the question again. Have you guys tried this game or tried anything like it? Like I said, OpenTTD, very curious about that one too. It's kind of a fave of mine, and like I said, I like to go back to it from time to time. So Anyway, yeah, I want to thank you guys for stopping in and watching. I really appreciate it, especially after this time away. I've had a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, that's going to be for another video. I'll kind of go into some more detail there in case you're curious. So stay tuned. That'll probably be in the next video that I make. But until then, thanks again for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time.